Welcome back to the Rise of the Nita podcast, or welcome if you're new here. If you are just finding me, I am trusting that you have found the right space. So, this podcast here today is for the woman who is no longer interested in performing her growth. The ones who are done chasing an identity that only exists in their head and are ready to find their next level and have it land in their body. So today I want to talk about the shift. The moment identity stops being something you think about and becomes something you live from. But before we go any further, let's arrive together. I'm going to invite you to take a breath with me. Inhale gently through the nose. Hold for 4. And exhale slowly through the mouth. Allow your shoulders to soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let your body know you don't need to reach for anything right now. You are safe in this present moment. One more breath in. Hold for 4. And take a long, steady exhale out. See, here's the thing. Most women approach identity as just a mindset shift. I need to believe more. I need to be more confident. I need to act like the woman I'm becoming. I need to make decisions from the person I'm wanting to become. And here's the truth most people never say out loud. And I've been guilty of this. You can understand your next level. You can understand that next version identity of you. But you can still operate and live from the old one. Because identity doesn't actually change when your mind decides it does. It changes once your body feels safe enough to do so. That's why you're able to know your worth, but still find yourself over-explaining. That's why you still hesitate, or you still go quiet when it matters the most. Your body might be ready internally, and your mind may be ready, but your nervous system might still be learning. So, what's the shift here? The shift actually happens quietly. It's not this big declaration. It's not an Instagram post. It's subtle. You pause before responding instead of reacting. You don't rush to full silence even if it's uncomfortable. Your breath stays steady when you speak and you have a tough conversation. I really could have worked on this one. You choose honesty over harmony. Nothing looks dramatic from the outside and the external, but everything looks and feels different on the inside. And that's when your identity begins to move into your body. It's not about confidence as performance, but self-trust as a felt state. And here's the thing. This phase can oftentimes feel a little awkward or slow, because when the identity begins to land in the body, it is uncomfortable, because you're unlearning your old survival patterns. Because performance is fast. The embodiment of it is a little bit slower. Your performance seeks approval. Embodiment seeks alignment. And for many women, performance is how they survived. They put on a mask. They were being agreeable, being impressive, being useful, being easy. So when you stop performing, your system might go, who am I without this? Are we safe if we don't try to impress others? Are we safe if we are not proving ourselves? And this discomfort doesn't even mean you're actually doing it wrong. It means that the shift is actually happening. Something a mentor of mine often reminds me is when you find yourself at this edge where the imposter syndrome is loud and you're starting to question yourself, it doesn't mean that's when you shrink. That means you're on the edge of that next level. And here's the thing, your body is what's going to decide what's real, because identity lives in sensations. It's how your chest feels when you speak. It's whether your feet feel grounded in a room. And it's whether your breath stays with you when you set a boundary. Your body decides what's familiar. And familiar often feels safer than the truth. Familiar often feels more comfortable, even if it's destructive. So when you begin embodying a truer identity, one that's more authentic, your nervous system may actually start to resist. Not because it's wrong, but because it's unfamiliar. It's new. And embodiment is the process of teaching your body, hey, this version of me is safe. We like her. We can get through this. So, I'm going to ask us to take a moment together. If you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, place both feet on the ground. Let your spine lengthen naturally. Let yourself feel supported rather than rigid. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. And take a slow breath. Inhale for 4. And an even slower exhale out. Try to do a 6 or 8 count if possible. And gently ask yourself, not your mind, and really you want to speak to your body, what feels true to live here from now? Notice the sensations. Notice the words. Identity lands through sensation before it ever becomes a language that you learn. And here's the quiet truth beneath all of this. You are not trying to become someone new. I know we often talk about becoming, but you're actually integrating who you already are. The shift isn't about the effort. It's about permission. It's about permission to take up space without the justification. Permission to pause without guilt. Permission to let your body lead instead of override. And as safety increases, your expression will follow. Your voice deepens. Your choices clarify. Your leadership stabilizes. Not because you forced it, but because your body is finally catching up to your truth. So before we close, take one last breath with me. Inhale. Hold for 4. And exhale for 6. If you're in this phase where things feel quieter, slower, more internal, just let me remind you right now, nothing is missing, nothing is wrong. You are not broken, you are not behind. This is just what it feels like when your identity stops living in your head and starts living in your body. If this episode met you where you are, please share it with a woman who's tired of trying to be her next level and is ready to embody it. And if you feel called, leave a review. It helps more women reach this work that are actually ready for change that lasts. So thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing yourself to feel like the shift can happen gradually and gently. And thank you for choosing embodiment over performance. I'll meet you in the next episode. Until then, take a breath and take care of yourself.